Greetings and welcome to the Halloween edition of the Sliders Review. And I'm here today to talk to you about Sci-Fi's Chucky TV series. This aired about 2 days ago, and if you missed it, you can actually watch it, the premiere episode, on YouTube for free. They upload it on their personal site, on their channel. You can also watch it on the NBC app or the Sci-Fi app, or most people like to call s1e. This is based off the Chucky franchise, or Child Play franchise, whatever you want to call it. It's a sequel to Cult of Chucky. It's not related to the, I think, what was it, 2019 remake? Did it come out in 2019? That's the one with Mark Hamill's voice. And, you know, I have to say, I've actually never watched a single Chucky movie. See, when I was growing up, I wasn't allowed to watch horror stuff because I guess I was like too scared, something like that. And so I always remember hearing about Chucky and stuff. And one time I was a little bit older, probably a teenager. It was on TV and I decided to watch like a little bit of it. And all I remember is like this evil doll like cussing a lot. And so I'm just like, well, this don't seem like scary and stuff, but I don't think I finished watching the rest of the movie. I forget. I was with my family, relatives and stuff, and they was watching. I'm not sure I watched the whole thing or not. But anyway, yeah, I've never seen Chucky like ever, but I know who like he is and stuff. You know, the former killer whose soul went into like a doll and stuff like that. And there's been other like, you know, rip-off type things of it. You know, this, well, I don't know if you call it really a rip-off, more like an homage, you know. R.L. Stein's Slappy, which, you know, I'm very familiar with from watching Goosebumps growing up. And then there was Lily D from The Haunting Hour, also by R.L. Stein. And, you know, they're about like two dolls that come alive. They're like evil and stuff like that. Now, as you know, Chucky was made famously by Don Mancini. Mancini. Now, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. I remember there was Michael Mancini from Melrose Place. That was a good show back in the day. But yeah, Don Mancini, he's like very like integrated in the entire like Chucky franchise. Because I'm unfamiliar with Chucky, I actually had to do a little bit of research and stuff. And so, like, he's been involved in every Chucky project except for the 2019 reboot. A lot of people didn't seem to like that, apparently. It got, like, mixed and average, like, reviews and stuff, which was sad because, you know, Mark Hamill was the voice of that Chucky and stuff. They went more electronic route and stuff. And so, with this TV show, he's very much involved in it and stuff. And so, like, one interesting fact is that the main character, which is a teenage boy, he's gay. And Don has said, you know, he's openly gay, and this harpers back to his childhood and like stuff like that. At first, I thought this TV show was going to be just a straight up reboot. When I heard about it and stuff, and I saw the trailer, I'm like, oh, wow, the trailer looks pretty interesting. I finally get to watch my very first Chucky something, you know? And so after watching it, I'm just like, this don't seem like a reboot. Seems like a sequel continuation and everything. So then I went online, and it is. It's really like a continuation of Cult of Chucky and the rest of the franchise. Even the character who appears in Cult of Chucky appears in this. So, the original voice of Chucky, like Brad Dourif, he reprises his role as the voice, and rightfully so. It's just weird not hearing that real Chucky voice. No, like, offense to Mark Hamill, but you know, sometimes you just want to go with the original, you know. I remember when I first saw Brad, I saw him in the Urban Legends movie, and I didn't know who he was and stuff. And I think I saw him in something else, but I can't remember what it was. It might have been Star Trek Voyager. I don't know if that was him or not. Anyway, so yeah, he actually makes a cameo on this as the like killer Charles and everything, whose soul went into like Chucky. And his daughter, this is where the Cult of Chucky thing comes in. His daughter, she reprises her role as Nika Pierce, the person who was like possessed and everything. And that's like Brad's daughter in real life. So that's like a cool connection, like right there. And so, like, as I was watching this, so the show starts off, there's like a person having a yard sale. It's like a woman, and she has the Chucky doll. And there's this kid. And like, he's very interested in buying the Chucky doll. And the dude's name is like, I think is it Jake Wheeler? I think it is. Yeah, Jake Wheeler. And so like he's interested in like buying the Chucky doll. And so as the woman is like, haggling with him with the price and stuff, like he buys it. But then she noticed something. One of the butcher knives is missing, and that's what Chucky was sitting at. And so like he goes home, and when I see his room, I'm getting some Sid vibes from like Toy Story. Not to mention, I think when they created Toy Story, they lifted some stuff from the Chucky franchise, like Andy, the kid who plays with dolls and dolls come alive. And then Sid and Jake are very similar. They have like doll heads like everywhere. Like he makes statues out of doll heads and stuff. And he kind of has not so much like a punk exterior, but like a golf kind of alternative, like a stereotype stuff, similar to that of Sid. Now I will say about this, it's cool to see actual teenagers play actual teenagers in this show. I forget how short teenagers are in real life. It's so great not to see like grown 20 something, 30-year-olds or 40-year-olds with a youthful face play like, a teenager and stuff. And so he's trying to rip the head off of like the Chucky doll to put in his display. And all I could think of, oh man, Chucky is not gonna like that. But he's unable to get it off. And as soon as he's finna cut it off, his dad like comes back home. And at first, his dad seems like a really nice person. Oh, by the way, Jake is played by Zachary Arthur. His dad, okay, his dad plays, the dude who plays his dad plays double duty because they're a set of twins. I had no idea who his dad was until I looked this up. I could not believe it. It's the dude from the very first Final Destination movie, Devin Sauer. I had no idea. The dude from the Stan video, Eminem. I had no idea because like he's like, gotten older and looks different, and he had like a beard and stuff. And as I'm listening to his voice, I'm just like, dude, you sound familiar. Like, who are you? But I couldn't recognize the face and everything. And so his dad seems cool at first, but then his dad tells him that, Junior, his cousin's coming over with their family and stuff. And then that's where everything goes sour. Sour, Devin Sour. That's, oh man. So that's where everything goes sour. Junior is like a jerk. He's like athletic, he's like on track, he's like the cool kid at school. His parents are nice. But this is when we first find out that, Jake might be like LGBT and stuff because he starts making homophobic slurs toward him and stuff. And his parents don't like that. But we see Jake's dad just kind of get like upset. So upset that at some point he smashes like a glass and stuff. So Junior's mom wants to go see like his display, but he won't let her say it's not finished. She wants to go use the restroom. She goes into Jake's room and she's on the cell phone with somebody that sounds like she's having an affair. Anyways, as they leave, this is when things go really bad. And I felt so bad for Jake. Now, Junior's mom, she's very famous. She's from the show Andromeda and stuff. I never watched that show, but I know exactly who she is. And she's also, I think she was also from Jason X. Even though I don't like never watch the show, I remember I used to always think like, man, like she has such like a great look to her, and she still does. Like she still looks exactly the same. Not only did he have to get picked on by his cousin, but his dad takes a baseball bat to like his entire like display. And like he just smashes all the doll heads and stuff and tells him, it's time for you to grow up and stuff. Basically, he doesn't want his son playing with dolls and he wants his son to be straight. I think he even told his son at one point, maybe you can like go out and meet some friends and like meet a girl or something like that. So his dad is not happy at all about that. Now, one thing I forgot to mention, one good thing about this series is like they get into the Chucky stuff very early with him slightly moving his hands and moving his eyes. See, when Jake was about to cut off Chucky's head, you can see Chucky's fingers move slightly. He was probably going to reach for either Jake's hand or reach for that butcher knife that he stole. Also with Chucky, he does not like that cat so much that like he rips a part of the cat off. I don't know what part, but it's gross. So like the next morning before school, Jake is like looking online to sell like the Chucky doll. That's the only one that didn't get smashed because Chucky hid under the bed. And so like as he's looking online, those good guy dolls are like a hot commodity online. So he sees he can get tons of money for them. So he takes the doll with him at school so that like his dad won't smash it. Now as he's like further at least on the bus, we start to see that yeah, he is some type of like LGBT, like he is gay. He starts to like look at this one guy like very like lovingly and stuff, and he's gonna sit next to him, but somebody else sits next to him and he wants to talk to him, but he doesn't. At first I picked this up as him trying to make friends like his dad said, and then got nervous and backed out. But then I also got some kind of loving vibe too. And as we see him walking to the bus, we see him listening to that kid's like podcast and stuff. Now, while he's at school, there's this other kid who seems to be like gay too, and he wants Jake to introduce him to like his cousin, cause he has like a crush on him and stuff. And then next thing you know, his cousin is actually behind Jake, and he doesn't see him. And then we see Junior, and then we see Junior's girlfriend. Now, Junior's girlfriend, I was shocked when I found out who this actress was. Beyond shocked. Now, Junior is played by Tio Bonares. His girlfriend, I am still blown away by who this person is. Like, her name is Lexi Cross in the show. So, like, okay, before this series ever came out, I was going to make sure I was going to watch it. And there's this actress that I follow on Twitter. Barbara Allen Woods. And so like I've been a fan of hers since like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the TV series. I can't wait to talk about that later on my channel. But I've been a huge fan of like her mom Barbara for like a long time. I used to have a crush on her back in the day when like she was on Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, right? So this is a TV series, not the movie. She's never been moved, it's been a TV. The TV show is really interesting. It's like a fun little family show and stuff, like a venture show. But so like Barbara kept like advertising this show like crazy on Twitter, and I'm just like, why is she doing that? I'm like, okay, maybe she's in it or one of her kids. Now, when her kids are in stuff, she will advertise the crap out of something, especially her youngest and everything. And so, like, I remember her one of her child, I think her middle child, Nally Allen Lynn. Like, I remember her from The Gifted. And so, like, that's the only thing I know. She's also on Big Sky right now. Now, her oldest child, Emily, I have no idea who that is. I have yet to see her in anything. So I'm very curious one day. But the youngest one, I was shocked to find out who that was. Little old Olivia Allen Lynn is now all grown up and is 14 years old. I didn't know who she was when I saw this. So like I saw Barbara's name in the credits. I'm all like, okay, Barbara's gonna be in this. And I'm like, I don't see her yet. Like, who is she? Like, where's she at? I want to see Barbara. And then I'm all like, maybe I got the names mixed up. Maybe I got her name mixed up with one of her kids. And so I'm looking, and I'm just looking at the Lexi character and hearing her talk. I'm like, girl, why do you look so familiar? And why do you sound so familiar, but grown up? And I'm like, no, it's her. It's the little girl who played Dolly Parton in those like NBC movies and stuff. I was shocked. I love those movies. Those movies are good. And that little girl was such a good actress in that and stuff. And I was just like, man, I can't believe it. Like, I'm always picturing her as that teeny tiny little kid with curly hair. But then I remember she was in Daybreak. And in that, she was like a slightly bit older. But she still looked the way she did when she was in Dolly Parton. It's just like, her hair was shorter but wasn't as curly. And in that, she was like this foul-mouthed teenager who liked hanging out with this one dude and the older kids. And like, it's a cool zombie apocalypse show. Sadly, the Netflix canceled after one season. I might talk about it on this channel. I don't know. But I might as well since it's Halloween and stuff. And so I'm just like, holy crap, dude, like she got taller, her hair got longer. I had no earthly idea who that was. I still think of her as little like Dolly Parton and stuff. Oh man. It's insane. So it's cool to see that Barbara's, all her kids are like acting. Her husband's is like an assistant director and stuff, like a first assistant director. What's it called? Second assistant director. I just know he's an assistant director. That's all I know. I think first unit maybe. Those terms confuse me, so I don't really know what all that's about. But yeah, that whole family is like in the entertainment business, man. So they gotta have some money. At least they better and stuff. But they're like they should be like a royal like Hollywood family. But yet you don't never hear nothing about that. That's so sad. Because they're all so talented. As Jake was trying to put like Chucky in his locker, he couldn't. He just kept slamming his head up against the locker. I'm just thinking to myself, dude, Chucky is going to kill you. And stuff. So, something I forgot to mention. So like Jake, he makes like, I guess like kind of like a eBay type page about to sell Chucky and stuff. And as soon as he does that, as soon as he hit that submit button, somebody calls him on the phone. And it's like a voice. I didn't know who this person was because I never watched the movies. But this person kept warning him, talking about the doll you're going to sell is named Chucky. He's like, look, kid, get rid of that doll. That doll's evil, blah, 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 stuff like that. And so Jake is kind of weirded out by this. I had no idea who that was on the phone until I looked it up. It's Andy from the movies. And it's still played by the dude, Alex Vincent, who played him in all the movies. And he's supposed to be a main character in this movie, so we're going to see him. And we're going to see his foster sister. I love how this show is like connecting everything, It seems to be connecting. It's even connecting so much that Tiffany Valentine is going to show up. The girlfriend of like Chucky and everything. And like by Jennifer Tilly. And so like everybody's getting connected. Except for the people in Curse of Chucky. So far, none of them are showing up. But that movie did pretty good, I heard. So I don't know why they're not showing up. But so like what is it? Now I did hear somewhere that the Chucky movies used to be good until they started getting more comedic with the whole Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky. But I don't know. Maybe I'll watch some of those older movies one day. Who knows? Anyway. And then so like, when he has that doll, when Jake has the doll with him at school, of course everybody's picking on him. And it feels so sad that everybody's picking on this dude. And so Lexi wants to know, why do you have this doll at school? And he's all like, oh, I'm going to sell it. So she's all like, oh, you poor, your family need money. And so she's all like, we should start like some type of like GoFundMe page or something like that. I thought she was being sincere because that's the way she sounded. But later on, we find out she's not. She's actually shaming him and making fun of him. And she makes a GoFundMe page in a very embarrassing kind of way, in a very cruel kind of way. See, she's a rich, stuck-up, elitist type girl. And she was just being nasty to him. And so now before the kids started making fun of Jake because of the whole GoFundMe page and stuff like that, talking about how poor he is and stuff, he was in class and he had to like cut open a frog, but he didn't want to do that. So at some point in time, Chucky decides he's going to do it for him, but he mutilates the frog. How did nobody not see that in the classroom? Seriously, I know they're paying attention to their own thing, but you think they'll be able to see a dog get up and like mutilate a frog? So he asked his teacher, Lexi gets in trouble with the teacher, but he asked the teacher, can he put Chucky in her like little like closet thing, because he can't put in the locker. So anyway, Lexi is getting like grilled by the teacher because She's all like, I used to be just like you and everything and everything, and what you're doing to Jake is like wrong. But Lexi don't want to hear it, and so Chucky has decided he does not like Lexi. When the teacher leaves, he is standing up. He was sitting on a table. Now he's standing up near like the door. And Lexi just kind of like, what in the world? Like, you was just there, but now you over here. And he slowly starts walking towards him. The way he's walking is weird. It's like he's being pushed or dragged. And then, so I'm thinking to myself, Chucky is going to reveal himself to her. I'm not sure if he says anything to her. I think he does in his like little good doll voice, good guy voice and stuff. And then next thing you know, we see why he's moving. The door is slowly being open. So that makes sense. So she thinks it's just the door being open and the doll is just like, talking in his kitty voice, and maybe she thought he was sitting down but wasn't. So Jake is starting to now suspect things about Chucky from that phone call. So he gets online and he starts searching the internet. And wouldn't you know it, there's been all these mysterious things happening when this doll kept getting passed around, and murders and stuff like that. So he's now freaked out by the doll, and he's even more freaked out when he finds out that like the doll has made its way back to like his house, and his dad's all like, I told you to get rid of this thing, and he's all like, I'm trying. And then so Chucky, of course, since he is now starting to take a liking to Jake, he is now gonna protect Jake and everything. So at the school, there's like this talent competition and stuff. Jake's crush is there. Speaking of Jake's crush, he wants to like interview Jake for the podcast. At first he's cool with it, then he finds out what it's about. It's about bullying. Jake gets upset and he leaves. Jake is very much an outcast. What people don't understand, he has to take medication and all this other stuff. And he kind of has not so much a stuttering problem, but kinda. And so like, there is something off with Jake, but it's more like a medical type thing and a mental issue type thing. So like, when they're at this like talent show type thing, Lexi is there and she's about to do her thing, but then all of a sudden you hear Chucky's adult voice like sassing her and everything and making fun of her. And because it turns out Chucky is sitting directly behind Jake and he had no idea. So he goes to get Chucky and everything. And Chucky whispers in his ear. And then Jake's like, okay. I'm thinking to myself, interesting. So Jake goes up there and they pretend to do like a ventriloquist type act. And Chucky is ripping into Lexi big time. Busts out her cell phone, because her cell phone was missing, and starts revealing all her secrets. All the stuff she looks at online, like Pokemon porn, and like, why does my fart smell so good? Stuff. And just some other things. He's all like, oh, I see you have tons of pictures of Junior and tons of pictures of other stuff. And then he's all like, your family secrets, like your mom, big secrets. Her mom's having an affair. So everybody's laughing it up. But then Chucky starts to get seriously pissed and just starts making fun of everybody and talking about how he's going to do this and how he's going to do that. And just starts cussing and everything. Jake runs on out of there and everybody's just applauding him down. But this has repercussions. When Jake gets back home, his dad informs him he's been suspended from school. Then him and Jake have an argument and his dad hits him. Because Jake tells him, you just don't like me because I'm like gay and stuff like that. So his dad hits him and everything. This does not make Chucky happy. When Jake goes to his room, the lights go out and his dad go down in the basement to fix it. Chucky is down there. And as his dad got his hand on the electrical equipment, I never knew Chucky could do this. Like his face I know his face can like change and stuff like that. But his face kind of changed in a weird, like demonic, like he looked so kiddish and realistic. Then his face kind of like scrunched up and changed. And then like stuff starts spewing from his mouth. Vomit, acid, like what, I don't know what. But it's enough to make like everything like go haywire down there. And Jake's dad gets electrocuted. and he dies. So the next thing you know, the police are there. Now, one of the police people is Jake's crushes. The dude that Jake crushes on, that's his mom. And so, like, she's there. She's asking a bunch of questions. He's not telling him about Chucky and this and that. Now he has to go live with his cousin, which he does not want to do. His cousin don't want that either. As he's there, you can see the animosity between Jake and his cousin as Jake just like slams the door. And so like Jake is like, at some point in time, Jake starts like screaming at Chucky, and Chucky comes alive, and he's all like, "Look, kid, I'm with you for life. Now, what are we gonna do about that Lexi girl?" And then he pulls out the butcher knife and stuff, and it just like ends. I am now starting to wonder, with Jake constantly getting like picked on and knowing Chucky will defend him, will will Jake use this to his advantage? Will Jake continue to be the good guy, or is he gonna turn evil and just have Chucky start killing everybody that has like a problem with him? And that would be an interesting twist. Like I said, I still don't know anything about the original one, but all I know is that Andy does not like Chucky, and so like, it just makes me wonder. That would be an interesting thing if we think Jake's this good guy the entire time, but then he starts getting corrupt by the evil doll, and then like he turns evil himself. Also, the other characters from the movie is supposed to appear. So what role do they play? I have no idea how many episodes is supposed to be in the season. Chances are it'll probably be no more than 6 or 10 to 13 probably. That's just how TV's going nowadays. And like, I'm surprised that sci-fi allowed them to drop like F-bombs and stuff. They normally say like the S word, but I'm surprised they use the F word and stuff. But then again, when you watch it on YouTube, it's the extended version. So I don't know what's in the actual sci-fi version. But yeah, this is like a really interesting series. And I can't wait to see Chucky do like what he does best. And I need to go check out those older movies and stuff. I'm just so curious right now. And so, like, it makes me wonder what members of like the main cast are gonna die. If they keep everybody alive, then that's gonna be kind of boring, you know? That wasn't that spooky. All right, well, I shall talk to y'all later. Bye.